Hey everyone, today I'm going to be doing another figure review, and I know it's been a while since I did a review, but I've been pretty busy doing a review. But I've been pretty busy doing a lot of things. So yeah, we're doing another review, and it's been a long time since we did a review. And today's review is going to be the Neca Predator 2 Ultimate Stalker Predator figure, which I have been waiting a long time to receive this guy, and I can't wait to get Guardian. Guardian should be the next release because he's one of the very first Predators that they announced and revealed for a Toy Fair and on images of Toy Arc and everything. So yeah, and now they released this guy. The Ultimate Lost Tribe members that we have right now are the City Hunter, of course, and then the Armored Lost Predator and Scout Predator, and now this guy. So yeah, it's been a while. But I've been pretty busy, school and everything, and lots of other important stuff. And on the weekend, I didn't do any reviews because I was pretty exhausted, and I really didn't feel like doing reviews, and I wanted to do other things on the weekend besides videos. So yeah, but finally got this figure. I've been waiting quite a while ever since they announced this figure to get my hands on this thing. And this figure comes with a lot of accessories and of course updated articulation and weapons that he's never had in the movie. So let's get this figure open right now. So yeah, if you hear any talking in the background, that's the Terminator movie on my TV here. So if you hear any loud talking in the background, that's just the Terminator movie. So yeah, and if you hear other noises, if you hear other noises like rather nibbling or kicking, my rabbits are kind of loud a little bit. So yeah, if you hear any background noise, don't mind that. That's just important things and the movie. So yeah. First off, this guy has a lot of, well, not a lot, but this guy has some really tough rubber see-through strings that we have to cut open like all the other Predators and Aliens. I don't know why they always attach these rubber strings instead of bendy wire, but it's okay because bendy wire is pretty annoying to cut open. It's kind of difficult. Of course it's easy because I have scissors, but going through all of those bendy wires, just cutting all those bendy wires and is quite a hassle. But this rubber that they strap them with isn't difficult. So yeah, the first thing I got out of the package here is the figure himself. Let me move this box out of the way. I'll show the box off a little later, but here's Stalker in all his glory and detail. First impressions, he looks pretty good. His joints are pretty good as I'm moving them right now, and has quite a lot of articulation, and the waist moves great, and the head moves great, and then the legs move pretty great. So yeah, and if the video looks kind of weird, I just recently got a new phone because my old phone broke, and I had to move my account to this new phone. But yeah, this phone is a great phone. But if you see a little bit of blur, that's just some software problems, or my YouTube account acting up. But so far, I think the recording is great so far, and the figure came out great so far. So yeah, let's get his accessories out now, and we'll take a closer look at him once we get everything out. And the first thing that I'm going to get out here is his unmasked head. Man. So yeah, I finally got his head out. It was quite a hassle getting his head out because you had to squeeze the plastic just to get this out. But here's the head. Really nicely detailed head. And again, the blur is kind of messy, but that's okay. The head, here it is right there. Nice attention to detail there. The skin is a kind of a goldish brown mixed with very light yellow and some white all over his head for a nice paint job, and really dark eyelids right there, and the actual eye itself is yellow and it's deep in there. So yeah, and then around and then at the edge of his head slash the crown, it has a very big black stripe across his crown right there, and some dots. So yeah, very nicely painted head sculpt with some stripes on the head. And the dreadlocks are kind of short, kind of like snake predator and viper predator's dreadlocks. Dreadlocks are kind of short, but that's okay. Makes them unique, and they're nicely detailed. They're your standard predator dreadlocks, like the jungle hunter and various other ones. So yeah, there's that. And then the other thing that I almost got out is the spear, which I have to be very careful with, because the tip of the spear is one of the most delicate pieces of the spear, and the spear is one of the most delicate predator accessories and can snap easily. But here's the spear. It looks very nice, just like the Scout Predator spear, extended spear. It's very nicely detailed in the actual handle middle piece right there where you could hold the spear. And again, sorry for the glare and the blurriness. This phone is barely new and this camera is barely new. So yeah, but it's a very nicely detailed spear. And if you check out my Ultimate Scout Predator review, it basically has the same exact paint apps and everything, in the same glossiness and the same black and brown color. So yeah, I wish I could show it off more detail. I wish I could show it off more well here, but the blurriness is really not letting me. So there's that, and then tons of other accessories. We have this blue blast effect here. Which comes with which is an exact reuse slash repaint of the Jungle Hunter Predator's blast effect, the first release and the second release. But this is honestly just painted the exact same as the reissue Jungle Hunter's blast effect. Really dark Gatorade blue, and instead of the really light cloud blue color from the first Jungle Hunter release in 2019, with a very white tip at the end. So yeah, very nicely detailed blast effect. And like I said, the camera isn't letting me show a lot of the details, but it's a nicely detailed blaster effect. So yeah, for some reason you can see everything in the background just fine. I don't know why every time I bring up the figure it's kind of blurry, but all this background stuff and all those figures in the background you can see just fine. But yeah, this blurriness. Then here's a human skull. This human skull is kind of similar to the human skull that came with the SDCC light up city hunter figure, aka King Willie's skull. But this is a different skull. But this is basically the same sculpt. This is the same exact skull. So yeah, very nicely detailed skull. This skull not only works well for Terminator, but a Mortal Kombat display. In Scorpion's level, when you go to Mortal Kombat, there's skulls everywhere. And if you want to make a display like that, it's very great for that, and it's also great for your Terminators. So yeah, not only Predator, but it's a nicely detailed skull for what it is. And then here's the hand to hold Stalker's Smart Disc. This is the hand I like to use. I used to have my Ultimate Lost Armor Predator have this hand holding his shuriken, but the shuriken broke for some reason. So yeah, my ultimate Lost Armor is right here, but very nicely detailed hand. It's kind of orange and white, and with a black or brown glove. So yeah, and this camera isn't, and like I said, this camera isn't letting me focus that well, but it's a very nicely detailed hand. So there's that. Oh, now it's focusing well. That's great. So yeah, it kind of takes a while for this thing to focus well, but there it is. Very nicely detailed hand overall. And I like to use that hand to hold the Smart Disc and the shurikens. So yeah, and the next thing is this opened extended smart disk. So yeah, this open extended smart disk, I don't know why, but for some reason NECA loves to include the open smart disk with every Predator figure. So there you go. But it's a very nicely detailed gold open smart disk, and you can fit it in either of Stalker Predator's hands. So yeah, either of his open hands, not his closed hands. So yeah, very nicely detailed, and the camera's kind of blurry, but that's okay. But you can still pick up a lot of the detail there now that the camera decided to focus. And then another accessory is his closed smart disk, very similar and exact same sculpt and reuse of tons and tons of other Predator smart disks, but with that nice gold color. So there you go. And then two more gripping hands. Here's his hand to hold his extended combi stick, or you could have him hold his extended combi stick with this hand, or his closed combi stick. So yeah, very nicely detailed hand, and yeah, it's basically the exact same as the open hands, but it's closed and it has the same details. And then here's a weird hand. I think this hand is personally weird because people have this because some people like to have Stalker. Some people like to have the Predators holding the shuriken and the shurikens with this hand, but it looks pretty weird every time. But to me, it looks pretty weird every time I have any of my Predators hold any of their shurikens with this hand. I like to use the other open hand, like I said, but this is a very nicely detailed hand. And then the closed spear right here, very nicely detailed. The camera is picking it up well. So yeah, very nicely detailed, and it's the exact same detail as the extended spear, except that one's closed, of course. And then right here is this weird arm. Right here is this weird arm or armed blaster or arm cannon to fire some plasma effects right here. You could attach it to Stalker's arm, which I'm not gonna do because I want my Stalker looking accurate to the film. So yeah, but it's a very nicely detailed cannon or blaster. I don't know what it is, but it's very nicely detailed. So there you go. And then here's the actual cannon. He comes with the backpack, the Predator backpack. But you could attach this you could actually attach the cannon to it. So you have to assemble. You have to assemble the plasma caster, and you have to attach the actual cannon to the backpack, like this. Although it's pretty hard to do. It's pretty hard to do. It doesn't want to get in there. But you can check out other reviews, and I actually got it in. So yeah, very nicely detailed cannon. And very nicely detailed plasma caster. So yeah, very nicely detailed. The camera's kind of picking it up well. So yeah, very nice plasma caster, and it's very unique for Stalker or any Predator. So yeah, that's about it. That's basically it for the accessories. I got all of Stalker's accessories out, and now let's take a look at the actual figure. Now the figure here, Stalker himself, looks great. Very nicely detailed, very movie accurate, lots of articulation, the joints everywhere, and the joints, and NECA makes the joints on all of their Predator figures. NECA makes the joints, the joints blend in well with the figures themselves, and it has a lot of articulation, and the joints are really well hidden and nice, and overall it's a nicely detailed Predator figure, and the armor on him is very nice. And then his back right here has some black tiger stripes going on the back of his back, and then the back side, of his legs right there, and then this little thing he has on the back, and then it has one, and then he has his crotch armor right there. So yeah, his crotch or waist armor, not waist armor, but his crotch or leg armor right there. So yeah, and then there's a holster to hold the smart disc, and there's some more leg armor on the side, which is similar to the Lost Armor Predator's armor right there, but in a different paint job. So yeah, and the feet are nicely detailed. They're totally white on the bottom, and on the top, they're very nicely detailed. Have a great orange color on the top of the feet, and all around his skin and his body, very nicely detailed. The tiger stripes, like I showed earlier, right there, and then his hands, very nicely detailed, and his arms, very nicely detailed with some darker orange stripes, and his arm is a light orange, but with darker orange stripes on his arm, and the waist and the chest and the belly is a very nicely detailed piece. A mixture of some light white color with some light orange and a dark orange stripe going down his belly to his chest. And then his shoulder armor looks pretty good. And then the extra armor that Neca added on to put on his chest looks very good. And the mask honestly looks better than the old Stalker Predator's mask. I like it way more glossy paint all around it, and making it look shinier with the crack. So yeah, in the movie, I don't think he had a crack on his helmet in the movie. But it makes this guy look very unique, like he's been through war. So there you go. And then there's the weird jaw and then here's the weird jaw that Stalker and Boar Predator have on their biomask right there, and the pig nose right there. So yeah, it kind of looks like a pig nose. His biomask kind of resembles a wild pig or a wild boar, which is unique to him. I like this biomask. So yeah, very nicely detailed biomask. And the dreadlocks, like the unmasked head, the dreadlocks are your generic Predator dreadlocks, but very nicely detailed. And the back of them, very nicely detailed. So yeah, overall very nicely detailed figure. And you can remove this. I will remove this later on in the review, but very nicely detailed figure overall. And now let's go over the articulation, and then we'll go over the box later as well. So yeah, the head, let's start with the head articulation. The head goes a full 360 degrees, and then it goes up pretty far, and then down pretty far, and then side to side on a tilting or pivot motion right there, 360 degrees. And the arm goes out pretty far, pretty high, and then pretty inwards pretty far, and then 360 rotation. And then double jointed elbows. So yeah, nice double jointed elbows right there. And the hand swivels all the way around. And then the hand is on a hinge, so you could get it to go side to side and up and down. So it's nice attention to detail. I mean, nice articulation. And then it has a shoulder cut here, so you can move his arm at 360 degrees as well. And yeah, his joints are not loose at all, so that's good. And I already showed the head articulation. Here's the waist. Well, at least the top part of the waist, the chest area, goes all the way around, and then kind of bends and goes back a little bit, and then the actual bottom, and then his belly right there, the entire part of his belly and chest goes all the way around, and then side to side a little bit, and then his legs go all the way up. I have it kind of at an angle, but his legs go up pretty high, and then back a good amount, and then in and then out pretty far and in pretty far. Double jointed knees right there, very nicely double jointed knees, and the feet go all the way around, and then down pretty far, and up pretty far. A good amount of articulation there at the feet. And his leg swivels, both legs swivel, so very nice attention to detail there. And the other leg, same exact articulation. And the camera fell down, sorry about that, but yeah, that's basically it. This Stalker Predator, like all the other Predators with the ultimate body, has the same exact articulation, and that's all the articulation, the articulation this guy has, but it's a really great amount of articulation. I like the Ultimate Predators and the Ultimate body molds. Great body molds, and they even use some of the Ultimate body molds for some of the Kenner predators that they made back in the day when Toys R Us existed, like Ghost, Spiketail, and maybe and Clan Leader. So yeah, very nice articulation and nice attention to detail. So yeah, we're not ending this review just yet. I'm gonna actually attach his backpack, his Predator, his plasma caster on his back. So this should be easy to do. Let me try to find an area to put it. Yeah, I don't know where to put it, but if you see other reviews, you'll know. But if you see other reviews, you can know how to put it on. But I don't know how to put it on. But this is how it looks if I hold it just like this. See, I don't see any place to put it, because I didn't pay that much attention. But yeah, this is how it would look like if I had it on. And then the actual cannon itself has articulation, goes back pretty far, and then forward pretty far. And that's about it for that. So yeah, and we already went over the accessories. Let's just get a closer look at this guy. So yeah, very nicely detailed figure. And I'm sorry I haven't done I'm sorry I haven't done my top 16 Predator figure list. This guy's definitely gonna be on there. I was pretty exhausted after doing the Alien list, counting all those figures, and I was pretty busy. So yeah, this Predator list and a collection video will come soon. So expect 2 videos coming pretty soon. But before we end the review, the one thing I want to show off here is the unique box. This box is pretty unique. It has a nice artwork representation of Stalker right there. It looks like he's inside of a temple. And there's 2 dead engineers. There's a dead engineer right there in front, and then one in the back with the Predator smart disc in his chest right there. So yeah, Stalker Predator, I guess, hunts not only xenomorphs but engineers and other creatures. So very nice. And then there's a bio read up. You could pause to read that, because I'm not gonna read that on video, but you could pause to read that. It's a long story, so. Yeah, but it's a very great story. And then the back, some nice poses of Stalker without his armor and with his armor, and holding the skull, and showing the list of all the Predators that they're gonna make in Ultimate format. So yeah, I can't wait for Elder Predator, especially because the old version of Elder Predator with the very limited articulation, you could barely pose that figure. So yeah, he could barely stand up straight. So yeah, it was pretty bad articulation. So I can't wait for all those Ultimate figures. And before we end this review, one more great look at Stalker, because he's so dope and he's pretty cool. So there you go, a front look, and then a look at the legs, and then the back, very nicely detailed. So yeah, before we end the review, let me get to some quick size comparisons here. So yeah, and a size comparison I want to get to is Stalker next to the Ultimate Alpha. So yeah, this Ultimate Alpha is actually the reissue 2020 version. Well, the first release is from 2020, but this one was released after June. The first release of the Alpha was on June, so this is the reissue version. But you can see how tall he is next to Alpha. Alpha's knees aren't all the way, isn't standing all the way up, but there he is standing all the way up. So there we go. There's a nice comparison there. And then another comparison I want to do here is Stalker next to Ultimate City Hunter. Ultimate City Hunter isn't standing all the way up, but they're pretty much the same size if you stand them up correctly. So yeah, there's his brother right there, City Hunter or Ghost. So yeah, some people even call him Ghost Predator. So yeah, it's his nickname. And then another comparison I want to get to is the Kenner Tribute Stalker Predator. See, it's kind of weird that they named 2 Predators the same name, Stalker. But I'll just refer to the Kenner one as a ghost Predator, and this guy as Stalker. But there's a nice comparison right there. So yeah, and the Kenner one is actually kind of smaller than Stalker Predator here. So yeah, the Kenner one is kind of smaller. And then another comparison here is my old version of a Guardian. I can't wait for the ultimate one. And this Guardian Predator's foot accidentally broke off, but if I stand him up correctly like this, holding him, they're kind of the same size. His old version of Guardian's a little bit shorter to me, but they look nice together. Can't wait for the ultimate release. And then here is Stalker next to an Aliens 1986 Ultimate Xenomorph Warrior, which was on my list for top 16 alien figures. But there he is right there. The Warrior alien isn't standing up all the way, but the alien's taller than Stalker standing up, so standing all the way up. And then here, for one more final comparison, Stalker next to his brother, Lost Armor Predator. So yeah, they're the same height. They both have great articulation and great figures. And I don't have Scout Predator with me right now. He's in my collection at the very end of the collection. And if I move him, he's going to knock down a bunch of figures. So I don't want to move him, but this is a great comparison. So yeah. And if you enjoyed this video, just leave a like, leave a comment, and maybe subscribe. Or if you didn't, just dislike the video. But yeah, this has been a review of Stalker. And I'll do my Predator list and my updated figure collection with all my figures I got from Christmas. So, yeah, stay tuned for 2 reviews. I'm coming soon if I'm not too busy with school. So, yeah, this has been the end of the review. We'll see you in the next one.